As League is really starting to hit this late game focused meta, the importance of not getting caught shines more than it ever has before. So many games that go past 40 minutes are not decided by who makes a good play first, but rather by who makes a bad one. Here's some tips to not get caught. Now, in actuality, it's not that complicated. It kind of just comes down to doing one thing: respecting pressure. But there are so many sources of pressure that dealing with all of them can be a little bit tricky. Now, the first and biggest source of potential picks is a lack of vision. You should never ever try to make plays late game without vision of the surrounding area. Whenever you want to go for something, you can never go in blindly, and even if your opponents are clearing wards really well, you can still claim some defensive ground inch by inch. The best time to get vision is when your opponents are pushing their waves, as that way you can be sure that they're not in the jungle. So if you lack vision, push out your lanes and then wait for your opponents to push the lanes back, and then you can go ward safely. Another source of getting caught is a lack of people. It doesn't matter if your teammates don't cooperate with you. If you're fighting without them, that is not their fault. It's yours for fighting without them. And if they fight without you, it's still your fault for not being there in the first place. Outside of the laning phase, it's very risky to make plays by yourself, since the vulnerability to ganks increases exponentially, since ganks can come from anyone in almost any way at that point. So be very careful and calculated when making plays by yourself past 20 minutes or so. And if all else fails, just stay grouped, especially versus pick heavy team comps such as Blitzcrank or stuff like that. If you stay grouped, anyone getting caught can just turn into a team fight anyways, as long as it's not the carry getting initiated on. So getting picked off while being grouped is generally really difficult, so you can use that to roam through areas that are unwarded or to gain zone control, especially if you see the opponents on the map somewhere, so that you know that the opponents are not grouped. And lastly, this is probably the thing that people fail to do the most actually, and that's to respect pick potential. You should treat every opponent like they have flash up, since they pretty much always do late game, since people will wait for their flashes to come up for fights, and there's such a long duration of time in between fights in the first place. And so be ready for them to flash onto you, as people love to flash in to create picks, and so they're definitely going to look to do it. Realize that when you go into poke, it puts you in range to be initiated on, so you can only poke down the opponents if them initiating on you is something that your team is in position to do. Respect your opponents and the power that they have to jump on you. So many times I see people get caught and die saying, oh, I didn't think their flash was up, or oh, I didn't think they did that much damage, and that's not really a valid excuse. Your lack of respect for your opponents can cost you games, but covering it up by telling yourself, oh, I didn't think X, is not going to help you for the next time that it happens. What will is giving your opponents respect for their power, as the punishment for a pick late game can reach absurd levels, much more than it would in the early phases of the game. My name is Jeremy, and that's it for my tips on how to not get caught. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others on the screen right now, or stay connected at facebook.com/gamingcurios. Drop a like, share this video, and make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.